Hi there, welcome to number one Geek. It is I, Saz, and we're here with some more Rimworld. Save our station. See, I'm not going to say save our ship anymore. It's just save our station because that's what I'm playing at the moment. What we're doing is we just looks like we're moving all the items that we need to from the one hold over to the next main hold, which will give us a closer area. Now what I need to do is I need to at least put something down in this area to protect this part here. But that has to take a certain amount of precedence. What I might do is I might move the ship bridge to this central place here and have that as the controller, seeing as it does seem to control all the other areas around here. But we will worry about that later. The players have managed to pair up, apart from Grey, who is a new member. As you know, Grey is a female 15-year-old. Well, her shooting and so forth, but we're looking at the mining, cooking, plants and crafting. And what we've done is we have put her so far just on hauling and cleaning at the moment. Simply because we want Tyron to use his intellectual skills to bring up our research. And our research currently, I believe, is a ship fission reaction, so that we can work towards a cargo shuttle. We also want to start getting all the ship areas done. So we really need to start thinking about keeping our research going. So having Tyron not worry so much about that in his work schedule. He is literally only researching. So we'll leave him to do that as his job. As you can see, he can go for it. And hopefully that focused rolling has allowed us to ensure that we're going to get the research done as quickly as possible. As you can see, they're moving things from one section to another, and hopefully at some point, in fact I think it's already been done, we've taken apart the salvage bay at the top here, which was fortunately we had enough stuff to do with that. So we've got an extra person. We've got obviously a lot more work to do. We're still keeping that ship at bay because it just stops us from being attacked, so it allows us to get ourselves pretty much on form before we start dealing with any further incursions or fights and so forth. Just makes common sense, really. If you can avoid the fight, you may as well avoid the fight. The other thing we've been doing is transferring a lot of the external solar panels to the internal part. So that's what we were also doing. So we've got 4 here and 2 there. So we've got 6 that we're probably going to pop in this area here, actually. Let's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 and 6. So once we've got those all done, we can what I will also need to do by the looks of it is probably maybe pop a power conduit here and a power conduit across there. Like that. As you can see, they're starting to work on that. So we'll start moving the area though. But the great thing is, because we have got the thermal generators pretty much generating most of the energy, the other thing we might want to have a look at as well is building or rebuilding this area here, because this area right in the center is going to be our battery store. We've already got 3 large capacitors which will help keep the power going to our lasers and our shields. But the more that we have, the easier it's going to be to deal with other creatures. When I say creatures, because we've got all these guys to worry about. As long as we can deal with them, we're okay. Right, so I'll get on and I'll be back once something informative happens. Okay, I'm trying to work out how to get the atmosphere on here breathable, yet obviously cold. You can't really use a normal refrigeration unit because that will expose things to space. Now, the only thing I've got is a ship vent. However, I suspect that I might need that attached to a radiator, which I've put here. But that's not really smacking it through, so I'm suspecting that I may need a heatsink between that and the radiator. So we're a little bit stuck at the moment, but as soon as I work it out, obviously I'll pop it out for you guys, and you should hopefully be able to do the same. The only problem is, I mean, I can expose things to space, but there's obviously, because it still classes outside, it still decomposes. And that's great. We've just got the fission reactor. So what I'm going to do is, instead of worrying about the cargo shuttle, I'm going to hit heat sinks. See if we can get this this problem sorted out. Okay, whilst I'm at it, I may as well start the work on getting this all up and running. Now, it may take a little while before it all gets sorted, but hopefully we'll be able to get this all filled in, and then we'll start building up the capacitors in here so that we have a large bank of capacitors to help power both our shields and our weapons. I'm kind of getting that's the key to the whole thing. But now we've got a fission reactor, we may end up looking at building our own new fission reactor, or moving some of these fission reactors, because we've got one here and one here, and it may end up being that we are going to have to look at consolidating it down to one area for the moment, and also looking at finding a way to make new fissionable material. Haven't quite got into it just yet. There's a biofuel refinery, but the rest of it I'm not 100% sure. But there you go. I think until I get this right, I'm going to expose it to space. I think it's slower for the exposure than it is for the heat, so it's probably better off that I just leave stuff exposed to space rather than worry too much about it until I've managed to research the heat sinks and see if I can actually get some sort of way of getting the heat out of this room. So the only other thing I can think of, but unfortunately can't do because I haven't opened up these areas. The reason I haven't opened up these areas is because they don't actually currently exist. So let me just have a quick look at. So here's how a heatsink kind of works. They will take all heat away, so to speak. But none of them use that vent, so I'm not 100% sure how that vent is quite supposed to work. Maybe I need more of them. We'd have to see. It's all about experimentation, guys. I'm not too sure how the whole ship things works. So maybe we'll work it fine, maybe it won't. I don't know just yet, but we'll see if we can find a balance, or if it's just a question of just having it open to space and have to take the risk on having the place opened up. I don't know. It's just a lottery, I'm afraid. Okay, well that is the capacitor bay all sorted. So what we want to do now is look at putting some hull plating in. Make sure that all gets full up. We don't really need any heating in here. And then we can have a look at the capacitors as well. Does the ship have the capacitors? Capacitor array, yeah. Well, we've got quite a bit to work on that one. Now we do have a little bit of extra to go on that one. We can pretty much fill this place hopefully full of capacitors, which will mean that we have plenty, and I mean plenty of power. We're not talking these battery things. These things have what, 100,000 units in there. Well, they're only losing what, about 200 from the capacity at the moment. So more capacitors that we've got that are filled, the less that they're going to lose. Now obviously a battle is going to be a different story. We're going to use up all the power for our lasers and etc, etc, and our shields. But the more capacitors that we have, the longer we're going to last in a fight, and that's the important point. So that's what we're aiming for. We're aiming to fill this whole area full of capacitors so that we have enough to fight pretty darn hard. Having said that, just suddenly realised that I may need to put some power conduits here, 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 and here to ensure everything is popped together. He's obviously doing the bits that's working, so we'll get back to that once everything's all completed and I start to get the blueprints down. Okay, that's the heat sinks done. Let's get into our cargo shuttle as we were looking at before. Now let's have a look at seeing if this heatsink thing works. Where am I? I want to be up here, don't I? So I want ship thermal conduit. What's a thermal conduit? Liquid conduit for moving heat around a starship. And a heatsink, a liquid cooled heatsink for storing excess heat from weapons bar. Celebrity's heat will not function in a vacuum. Okay. Ah, right, okay. So we put the heatsink. That does not want to rotate. Okay. That's fine. So what we need to do is we need to put this into a, what I understand, bugger, is a non-vacuum. I wonder how that works. Okay, the doors seem to have thermal conduits on them as well. That's interesting. Okay, so it's got purge ports and stuff like that. We'll see. Oh, yes. What I want to do, actually, cancel that. I want to pop in the ship radiator. Which I suspect will deal with that problem. So what we want to also do is maybe put all the thermal conduits around that area, and then we'll be done. Right, well, we'll have to find out next week if this all works. It may or may not work, who knows. But what I want to say is thank you very much for watching. If you like what you like, press the like button. If you dislike what you dislike, press the dislike button. But please pop something down in the comment section to let me know how I can improve my content for you. If you like what you see, why not press that subscribe button? And if you super duper like it, why not press that bell icon so you get updated so when I upload next stuff to YouTube. Thanks for watching, guys. Take care. Bye-bye.